This is Matthew Hoagland.
This is Tony Standrod. And do you ever wonder what really goes on in the real estate world? We're in the right place, so hop in, buckle up, and we're going to take a drive into episode 4 of Real Life in Real Estate. So let's go.
What's up, everybody? This is Matthew Hoagland, team lead at the Hoagland team, Remax Premier Properties. My man, Tony Standrod.
Yo.
Episode 4.
Yeah, man. 4 deep, man. Can you believe that
it's going
already?
fast, man.
Gee
it's going by
whiz.
real fast.
Yeah.
So today, my man, we have 2 of our very special guests, friends, clients, business partners, Josh Hardy with Virtue Properties and Brian Hemmerle with Kentucky Sell Now. Guys, how you all doing?
Doing awesome, man.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
No, absolutely. We're only in episode 4, and what I liked about the podcast that I did before is just having a lot of good people join the show, give good information for the public, and just try to bring, value to them, but then also value to other people.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the one today, man. Appreciate you guys making the space, and we got a lot of good content we're going to get into, and looking forward to learning a lot, sharing some laughs, hearing some stories.
We're excited.
Nice. Yeah, happy to share some gold nuggets.
Cool. Good deal. Well, dude,
cool.
Tony, give us some real good news.
Real good news, man. It was so this week, this is kind of crazy. This is going to be kind of more science focused. When I was a kid, Jetsons were on the TV, and Back to the Future, like that was a thing.
That's my favorite trilogy.
Dude, don't even get me down that rabbit hole. But I always looked at that and thought, man, maybe in my lifetime we'll get the hoverboards and the floating cars and things like that. We haven't seen it yet, right? But then I run across stuff like this, and I'm like, well, maybe we are in that time. So there are some researchers at Stanford. All right, there was a guy that tragically back in 2007 lost every feeling, movement he had, paralyzed from the neck down. Okay. Stanford University researchers, they ended up using artificial intelligence software and a brain computer interface to help this man with immobilized limbs communicate by text. So this gets kind of crazy, man. Listen to this. So Jamie Henderson, he's a doctor, neurosurgery at Stanford. He implanted 2 microchips the size of a baby aspirin about 1 millimeter into this man's brain in 2017. The chips have electrodes that record neurons in the motor cortex, which is the part of the brain that controls hand movement. So when the man that got this implant imagines using his hand to write on a notepad, it starts texting.
Gosh.
Wow.
Just imagines this.
Amazing.
And the crazy thing about it is, and this is what Henderson said about it, he said the approach, it allows any person, this person in particular with paralysis, to compose sentences at speeds nearly comparable to those of able-bodied adults of the same age typing on a smartphone. So on average, when we're sending text, we're doing about 23 words a minute. With this implant, this guy can do 18. Just thinking about, he's visualizing his hand on a piece of paper and just shoots this text out. Is that not wild?
That is wild.
That is
That's
wild.
wild. It's crazy.
I mean, unbelievable.
So what device is he using to do that? Does it say?
It doesn't say. It's
Is it linked to anything with AI or?
Let me see.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's some kind of computer that is, I guess, on the wheelchair that he's sitting on, that's connected to the wheelchair. And yeah, so he just, however that's wired up to these implants and these little chips in his brain, just a visual, just thinks about it and text.
Shows you the power of your mind.
Isn't that unbelievable? Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I thought, well, we might not have floating cars and hoverboards like old Michael J. Fox and Back to the Future, but we got some brain enabling communication.
Well, we don't have floating cars, but we do have cars that drive themselves. That's
right.
That's pretty wild if you think about it.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Would you ever would you be in a car that you let drive itself?
No, my kids might, because they won't know any, by the time they
that'll
get
be normal for them. Yeah.
That'll definitely be normal.
Why do you have your hands on that circle thing? And,
right. And it take a lot of trust.
Right.
I guess.
Well, I had something come up on my Facebook feed 2 years ago today. There was a phone jack like in the wall that there wasn't a phone there. And the couple that I was showing, the girl's name was Natalie. She asked me, she goes, "Hey, what's that?" And she, at the time she was probably 23, 24. And I got the biggest chuckle out of that. But anyhow,
that used to be how you communicated,
Right.
with wires in the walls.
Used to be.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, let's go to our next segment on this day. So I wanted this time around, I kind of focus more on music just because I like a lot of different music and that kind of stuff. But today in 1967, Aretha Franklin, the cover of Otis Redding's song "Respect" reaches #1 on this day.
There it is.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Need the disco ball in here. Yeah.
And then let's see. On this day in 1976, you guys will probably appreciate this one, but I mean, I do as well, obviously. But Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody goes gold, which gold, if you didn't know.
I think Matt just called us old, Brian.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No way.
He did.
That was like a passive aggressive.
You guys are like 5 or 6 years old. But anyway, gold basically means they sold 500,000 copies of their album or the song single, which since then they've probably quadrupled that or way more than that. So
Cannot listen to that
Sure.
song without seeing Wayne's World.
that's right.
That's
I think that's where I first heard it.
I think so too. For me too.
Yeah,
great movie.
I didn't follow Queen when I was that age.
Well, the movie that they did in the last 5 years, that was actually really good.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, it was a little slow, but it was a good film. My last one, 2019, just 2 years ago, Jay-Z was named the world's first billionaire rapper by Forbes magazine.
Really?
Killing it.
And
Billionaire.
this song, I'll never forget my junior year of high school. We listened to this. I lived in South Georgia all the way to Hilton Head, probably at least 10 times.
Jeez,
But
man.
yeah, no, I'm a music fan.
Spinning that
Yeah.
cheese.
I like it all.
You
I
went
like them
from
all.
Aretha to Jay-Z.
I know, man. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm covering the
Surprised
whole
it's not
spectrum.
Puffy Combs or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be the first billionaire.
Oh,
No,
Puffy.
it's
Whatever. happened to
2019, man. Well, and I think Jay-Z, I could be wrong, but he has a lot of yeah, he
It's
does
more than just
production.
music.
I mean, I think he's got his own clothing line. He's
Yeah.
got a lot of
Yeah.
different stuff going on.
He does.
But anyway, guys, thanks for
That's pretty good,
sharing,
man.
Tony. Yeah, absolutely. So again, as we mentioned, our good friends here, Josh and Brian. Let's kind of start here. How did why real estate investing for you guys?
I guess I could start. Yeah. I mean, I bought my first rental property in 2007. And you know what? Just being around other people that are in the industry or other successful people, people own real estate and they own businesses. Right. And so that's what kind of intrigued me about real estate. So I bought my first property in 2007 and I've had 3 for about 10 years. And I decided, you know what, I need to start looking into buying more properties. And that's kind of where this whole journey started, probably since 2018.
Yeah, mine started in, I guess, May of 17. Our family was wanting to have an in-ground pool, and this was our way to fund that.
Yeah.
And so and I did my first flip, and then after that, it just was hooked. And then I figured out that it's a way to get freedom.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool.
And Brian, it's funny. You said you weren't really in real estate, but you did start investing in 07. I had an opportunity to start before I got into real estate, and it's scary. But the more now that I'm connected, now that I'm in real estate, we have a business. It's a great way to build your, wealth. I've talked about that before, like for your kids. And yeah, I mean, it's really exciting.
Mhm.
So Josh and I actually met through a mutual friend, probably 2 years ago, at the tail end of, unfortunately, one of his worst properties. But that's how I got connected to Josh, and then Josh and I, we sat down with Brian and Tony and had a meeting, and yeah, we've been working together for the last year or so as these guys get their business off and running, and they're really good guys. But how did you two get connected?
we got connected through the local organization RIA, which is actually for this area is called CREA. We call it. It's Kentuckiana, Kentuckiana Real Estate Investors Association.
Right.
And we were had some people within the organization that, were throwing out names, said, you need to meet Brian. Hey, Brian, you need to meet Josh. And we finally hooked up.
Yeah.
And we've kind of hung out ever since.
Yeah, we kind of actually connected. We were both working on a BRRRR, right? Which stands for buy, you rehab it, you rent it, you refinance it, and you repeat. We both were actually doing one at the time. And we were just kind of sharing notes. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing for financing on the back end? And so we just got to know each other through that organization, which is awesome, by the way. Highly recommend it if you're local to check out Korea. And we just kind of started sharing our visions and stories and, our families. And we just kind of connected, right? We had
A lot of shared
values, vision, and quite honestly, different, similar skill sets, but different stuff, right? He's very good when it comes to rehab and being organized in numbers. And I've been, a sales and marketing background. So it's kind of been a sweet little marriage, as far as growing our portfolio and growing our businesses together.
You guys complement each other well. And I can see that just in the way you interact with each other. I mean, it just works, So like specifically, just out of my own curiosity, like where are your focuses specifically? I know yours is more, like you just said, the rehab side, and then Brian, just speaking to that and with your companies and names and all that.
Yeah. So I started Virtue Properties back in May of 17, and it's more of the flipping, where we, buy a home and add value to it and turn around and sell it for retail. And also for the rehab side. And that's what I tend to focus on, on the rehab side.
And then Kentucky Sell Now, I just look at that business as a marketing business, a way to source my own real estate deals, right? And we go direct to seller. And most of the people that we work with are typically have some type of problem or challenge. So that's kind of the marketing business. And then he and I together have H2 Properties, which is our buy and hold business that we're working on growing.
Cool.
Yeah. How many properties you guys up to?
10, 11?
We got
nice.
Let's see, we got 6 and we got 3 under contract. So 7, 8, 9.
We just bought one last week and we're buying another one next week.
And then when did you guys start together buying proproperties?
May of last year. We bought the cottage.
A year.
Right,
a year ago.
I mean, that's impressive. That is
impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome. 10. So let's talk about this now. So you've some people that may be listening, how in the world are you getting 10 or 11 properties in a year? Speak a little bit more about maybe, that strategy and what you're doing, because if you're buying an investment property through just a regular loan, you're going to have to put 20% down. Some lenders will do 15, but you're going to have, most people don't have that kind of cash on hand to just buy that many properties. But I know that's not what you guys did, but kind of maybe shed some light on that for the listeners and just, tell us how that works.
Yeah. So I'd say the majority of our deals have come from our own marketing, also from networking.
Yep.
We bought from other investors. That's why it's huge. If you're going to be in this business, if you want to buy rentals, connect with great realtors, connect with other investors. And if you want, which I'm a big fan of, go direct to seller.
Yeah. And then as far as Matt, where you're going with the funding is usually we do 3 different strategies. We have our own line of credit through whether it be his rental properties or my personal home. And then we have private money, which would be people that we know personally that trust us, that knows what we're doing and lends us the money for a certain percentage.
We're always looking for good people to work with.
Exactly.
There you go.
Asterisks.
Right. Yeah. Check the show notes. And then thirdly, and lastly, I guess would be what they call hard money lenders, which are local institutions that will lend short term up to 12 months, but typically that's at a higher interest rate.
Yeah. It's interesting, Tony, because do you remember when I first got my real estate license and I was at your house and you were like, hey, come look at our house today.
I do, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I didn't have my first rental then. And knew none of this stuff that they were talking about. And something that we keep talking about here is just connecting. Like, think about that. Like, I learned all of this stuff and the same thing for them. Like, you learn that by connecting with people, networking.
Sure.
And there's bumps and bruises on the way, but I love that, people.
Well, we really have to go back and just, with Korea, that's KREIA.com. for $125 a year membership, it's well worth its weight. I remember the first time that I went, and our mutual friend, who's the one who introduced me to Korea,
Right.
I went, and that night, literally, I went home online and signed up. It was a no-brainer because I was so overwhelmed with all the information. And I thought, just tonight alone that I went as a guest was worth $125.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer for sure. We really do recommend that for people who are wanting to learn how to get into the business.
Yeah, it's almost something too. Like, I've thought about joining myself. I don't know everything. You know, there's always things and people that I can meet and learn from. And yeah, I think that's something, dude, you and I might do together.
Dude, I'd love, I mean, I
think you'd benefit a lot from that as well.
I mean, how does growth happen, right? I mean, you surround yourself with people that are doing things that you want to do. That
Your network is
your net worth. Yeah. I mean, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So if you want to be successful, you need to find and seek those people, add value to them, and hang around them.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're friends with people that own 150, 200, 300 properties, right? And so to be able to ask them questions and pick their brains and learn from them, that's invaluable.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, Tony, if you and I hang around Brian long enough, we're going to grow 6 inches.
Yes, please.
Good luck.
Yeah. Oh, so you've kind of talked a little bit about this one, Brian, but so describe your person, your typical person or situation that you guys are a good fit for.
You know, we typically work, I mean, there's all kinds of different situations, right? From someone who's behind on their taxes, someone who's going, you know, pre-foreclosure, maybe is way behind on payments, probate, which is, you know, typically I call it an inherited property, right? Someone passes away, there's a house that needs some love, you know, maybe a son or daughter inherits it and they don't have the money or time or expertise to fix it up. And they just want a quick type sale.
Yeah.
It could be someone who's been arrested. I mean, we can talk about that specific example, how we're able to help that seller who had some challenges with drugs. So it really depends, right? And at the end of the day, we just try to be a solution or an option for people.
Yeah.
And as you know, obviously, if they're more of a retail type fit, if they want more of a top dollar, they have a nicer home typically. You know, we just try to be an option and refer them.
Yeah.
And we've referred obviously a few to you guys as well. So it's those types of situations or who we typically help out best.
Okay. What was I going to say? You said something, and I should start writing this stuff down.
Should we give a specific example of? I like to give examples.
Yeah,
I don't know if that would help or not for the listeners out there.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
Yeah. So one we actually just bought is on Keswick. It's in Schnitzelburg. It was I use an app called Deal Machine. So if you've never heard of it, it's called Deal Machine. It's a driving app that allow you to pin distressed looking properties. So at the time I had a driver, I may be looking for a new driver. If anybody's out there who may be interested in driving and pinning using an app, distressed looking properties, right? So the roof is all jacked up, the high grass, bushes everywhere,
broken windows,
whatever the situation
gutters are hanging off the house,
needles outside on the sidewalk.
Right.
So we actually had a driver who pinned this property. And then my main marketing channels, we send out direct mail. We send out, I think it's roughly a little under 2,000 postcards per week to distressed situations or houses that we've pinned. We got a call from this seller and met with him pretty much right away. He, long story short, he had some drug challenges, was in jail, and in his house that he bought 2 years ago, there was actually, I don't know, I'd say 5 or 6 other druggies, homeless people,
always coming and going,
in his property. And so he was just kind of overwhelmed with everything. And we basically said that, hey, let us, help you with your situation. We helped the eviction. We actually paid because when you do a sheriff set out, meaning you're evicting those people, you have to, have 5 people there. You got to, everything has to be put out on the lawn. So we actually did that, paid for that up front, paid for the change locks to get everybody out of that house. And we actually didn't even close on this house until about 5 months later because of another situation that he wanted to wait on. So he could it was a divorce situation that he could wait to sell it to where he could take all the proceeds.
Sure.
So
yeah,
kind of it's wild, those are messy situations, but at the end of the day,
he was tickled pink that we helped him.
Oh, he loves us.
I mean, it's a sad situation, but he was I mean, yeah, we
He
had
was we added value to him. He was very fortunate. And we were getting a house at a really good price that we're going to keep long-term as a rental that we're going to turn in, and it's going to cash flow like crazy. So those are the unique type situations of people that we talk to every day that we just try to be an option or solution for them.
Yeah. And doing it in a way that they felt, I mean, it sounds like that dude just felt served. You know what I mean? It's like
he couldn't thank us enough.
I mean,
he'd always do at closing. He had to say, I don't know how many times, you all really helped me out, and he was happy.
That matters, man. I mean, we've talked about this on different episodes before, because that's kind of like that's you're speaking to my heartbeat when you say that. Because that's kind of how I try to operate. Like whoever we partner with and help out, I don't want them to feel anything, you know. And like you guys stepped in the very beginning, just it sounds like you took care of everything. You know, so gave a solution and kind of made it hands off for him, and so that's a pretty cool story, man.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Well, and Brian just touched on something too that I think is worth pointing out. Like these guys are problem solvers.
Yep,
we're problem solvers.
Yep.
You know, not everybody. You know, putting it on the market that's stressful. Putting it on the market, going through the 30 to 45 days transaction, and there's a lot of people that don't want to go through all of that. And these guys are rock stars and are perfect for people and fit,
sure,
you know, for things like that.
That's what we always say. We always say that we're in the business of solving problems. Just real estate's just a byproduct of that.
Yeah. I like that.
I like to call it easy peasy. You know, there's a lot of sellers that want easy peasy.
That's
right. And lemon squeezy, whatever it is, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And we just try to make it simple and easy. And you know, if we're an option, great. If not, listen, and when we're very upfront, like, you know, when we buy properties, because we're going to add value to them, because we're going to put money into them, we have to be able to buy them at a price that makes sense.
We give them,
we have to make a profit.
We give them speed and convenience, and they give us
price.
Yep.
Yeah. Speed and convenience is what we provide.
Well, cool. Well, as I mentioned before, you guys are killing it right now. And we certainly appreciate you guys partnering with us. I mean, don't give away all your secrets, but how are you guys finding inventory in this market?
Well,
great question.
Yeah. So we send a lot of postcards.
Yeah.
Send a lot of postcards, not just to any random, you know, people that they're typically on some type of situation, tax delinquent, code violations, evictions, probates. So we send to typically distress type situations. So postcards has been our main channel. And there's a lot of investors out there that will text and cold call. We do limited cold calling, but that's usually to specific, maybe a stacked list, right? So maybe they're an absentee, maybe it's a vacant house, maybe it's tax delinquent, right? So we want to try to get a hold of those homeowners and see if they're willing to sell the property.
Right.
Virtue Properties runs an ad. They have been for the last 4 years in a print ad. And that's brought us some deals. But mainly, like you said, direct mail is 95% of it.
So how did, like, when you're sending this mail, and I'm not asking for specifics, but like, how did you determine, like, what are you putting out there and you know, like your marketing piece? Like that seems to me like that's going to be pretty important in what you're saying when you're mailing stuff to people.
It's more of how many touches.
Yeah,
I think so. Like, oh yeah, because when they get that piece of mail, I mean, think about when you get mail. There's a lot of times that people just throw it in the garbage. Like, oh gosh, here they go again.
It's Wednesday. There's a whole stack of yeah.
But when you have somebody that's got, you know, they're facing maybe foreclosure, you know, they got some, I'll call it pain points, right? You know, at some point they're going to say, okay, you know, time has gone by because we don't mail it week after week after week. It's on a cycle.
Yeah.
So after maybe the third or fourth touch, that's when they may pick up the phone and call, and they're like, okay. And then we, you know, of course, we need to find out what their motivation is and just go from there.
It's really not rocket science. You know, going back to your network is your net worth. I've been around, you know, several guys that have $1 million wholesale businesses, and I've learned a lot from those guys. And it's really just a simple message. It says my name. We're willing to buy your house for a fair cash offer type stuff. So it's simple, and I'm happy to share. I don't mind sharing it, right? Because I just believe in an abundance type mindset. There's deals out there for everybody.
Yep.
So we just try to keep it simple, but we try to keep the mailing consistent so that we get a lot of, you know, calls in. We have good conversations with those sellers, understanding their unique situation, and then we kind of go from there.
Yeah, try to find a solution for them that fits them.
Cool.
Well, you and I talk about this a lot too. You all said something really good there, that you know, you're going to send somebody a piece of mail 3 and 4 times. And if you just quit after the first or second because you're not getting results, like you're just on the cusp of becoming successful at doing that, because you're going to catch people at different times. You know, I may get a piece of mail and I've got a property that I'm like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but 6 months from now, I might be ready and I might get that, you know, piece of mail from either a real estate agent or you know, an investor. And yeah, it's timing.
Yeah.
I think consistency is the key word there.
Yeah, consistency, putting yourself out there, right? I mean, we kind of alluded to this earlier, but I feel like all of us at this table, I mean, we're just dudes that want to help people. We just happen to be in the businesses that we're in. We're in real estate, right? So how much of a disservice are we doing to the community as a whole if we don't do those things? We don't, there's help here. You know what I mean?
And one of the things is when they finally reach out to us, they're calling us for a reason. They need help. Yep. Right. And so they may not be ready to sell that day, but like Matt already said, you know, it goes back to follow up. And if we haven't heard from them, give them a call after, you know, 4 weeks or so and just say, hey, we were just checking on you, you know, and we're just honestly trying to, you know, solve the problem.
Yep. Yeah. Because how many times has that consistency not been there in your own life? And you're like, man, I remember hearing about that plumber that one time. I can't remember his name though, or I can't remember her name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the consistency is not there. And
working out, it's the same thing. Your body's going to change.
Working out.
It's true.
Which I'm trying to work on myself. But
getting swole.
Same here.
There you go.
Getting swole.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to our next question here, guys. So, you guys, as I mentioned, you guys are killing it. But there's a lot of people doing similar things that you guys do in our city, and I pay attention to a lot of those message boards, and there's a lot of people that I feel like could be, and there's also real estate agents like this. So I'm not like that mislead the public or that doing certain things. Like what sets you guys apart, or how are you different than some of these people that may not be doing things, you know, the right way, so to speak?
I mean, I would say that, we're just really upfront and try to be as honest as possible. Yes, we are there to make a profit, no doubt, right? But at the end of the day, we're about helping a seller solve a unique problem or situation.
Yeah.
Right. And we are not always the best fit.
Yeah.
And I give people options other than working with us all the time. If someone wants to list it with a realtor, awesome. I've got that for you.
Yeah.
You know, if they want to sell it cash as is and they want to sell it quickly, okay, maybe we can be an option for you. Mm-hmm. They want to keep it themselves and fix it up. Awesome. We've got a lot of contractors that we work with.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that sets us apart too is just from the standpoint of once we put something under contract, I mean, we're closing on a high majority of those deals. Like I would say over 99% of them, because we have the money to take it down. Right. So in the event that, we have multiple strategies. So either we keep them, we flip them, we wholesale them, or, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For people who don't know what wholesaling is, a lot of people will put a house under contract, right, or an agreement, and then they'll try to sell that agreement to another investor, right? And I think that's what Matt's alluding to is there's a lot of people that it's not regulated. Anybody can pretty much do that, right? All contracts, at least in Kentucky, that I'm aware of, are assignable. So there's a lot of people that do it and they don't do it the right way.
Yeah.
We do it. We assign contracts all the time to other investors, right? Who are willing to buy our contracts from us, but we do it the right way. And like I said, we want to help that seller. That's the number one priority.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, that's why we obviously have partnered with you guys is I think the mindset is very similar in the way we operate our businesses. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
Just that transparency, that communication, giving options, because a lot of people don't get that. It's going to be this way or it's not, it's kind of some mindsets that have been out there, and just in any industry that you're a consumer trying to get a product, like that possibility is always there.
I always go back to
it's the review economy, right? Like that's the reason why reviews exist. I've heard about these folks, but let me see what everybody else says.
That's why I always go back to, we're not the what do you call it? Like the pushy car salesman mentality where, we're just
whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
It's not,
we're not like that at all. In fact, there's many times that we push back, like we're not the best fit. You need to, we try to suggest something else, that we
Right.
think would be better for them. But a lot of times they'll say, no, we want to sell quick, and okay.
Yeah, I
we,
mean,
we can help you out.
That reminds me, going back to this point too. I got a call from a seller, who had the postcard on her refrigerator for 6 months, and really, I went out and met with her, had a good conversation with her. I'm like, listen, like, I can buy this property, but you understand I have to make a profit. If you sell this with a realtor, you're going to make more money. She's like, I just want it. I just want it done quickly and fast. Can you just help me, Brian? All right, awesome. So we actually ended up assigning it to another investor.
Yeah.
But we did it probably within 10 days.
And I think you made a good point earlier, Brian. And this stuck out to me the first time we met, is just like perception is reality, right? So even the way you conduct your business and the transparency you can have and the options you give is from that abundance kind of mentality. Because if you got a poverty mentality, then you're close-fisted about everything, how freeing that is to be able to do that, for you to live in that way and conduct your business that way, but also how freeing it is for other people to experience that. You know what I'm saying? That they don't feel pigeonholed into one certain area. And just gives them freedom to make the choice that's best for them too.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, I like that.
So this is kind of, I actually didn't have this question written down with me before, but so Tony has somebody that he follows that's like in the real estate space, Ricky Caruth, and I'm a big Tom Ferry fan as well. So who do you guys like? Do you have somebody that maybe that you like, a mentor, and obviously Jay Pitts, our broker as a mentor, friend, and that type of thing as well.
Mentor from a distance, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. So who do you guys have that you look up, and I'm actually drawing a blank on the gentleman's name, but the guy that we that did the video or the Zoom call about 3 or 4 months.
Oh yeah, Corey Raymond. Yeah, Corey's a successful investor out of Wisconsin. He has well over a 7-figure business. He's a big fan of the Burr model, and I've just met him through my network, right?
Yep.
And it all started back with a podcast from 3 years ago. So Corey's one we can call. Zach Booth is awesome. Cody Hoffine. Both those guys have 7-figure businesses out of Utah. So well connected with those guys and always learning from them as well.
Cool.
Yeah, for me, it's I listen to a lot of Bigger Pockets with Brandon Turner and David Green. That's usually who I guess go with. For me.
Awesome. What about books, Brian? I know you're a reader.
Yeah, what's a good book, man? You recommended a couple of good ones last time we were together. What's the newest one you got on your mind?
Oh man, I just ordered 4 new ones. Actually, one I ordered I'm excited about is I don't remember the name, but it has to do with your subconscious. So I'd like to research more. Who you are is really about your kind of when you're growing up and your background and what happened to you.
Yep.
Right. But I think you can change your subconscious. Never Split the Difference is written by Chris Voss. He was an FBI lead hostage negotiator. Great book on negotiation.
You and I are implementing traction in our businesses.
Traction is a great book. I mean, there's so many great business books. Highly recommend to I have a morning routine where I read pretty much every morning. Highly recommend that create that routine, because it changes you when you read. The more you just pour into your mind that's positive.
Yep.
One of the popular books that a lot of people mention, especially on Bigger Pockets, is that they read, like their first book that really changed their mindset, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Right.
That's a good one too. If you haven't read that, that's a good one.
I've heard that more than once for sure.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I know the book I just ordered. It's Who, Not How. Right. And that's one thing that I'm struggling with is, I'm trying to do everything a lot, right, when it comes to the sales and marketing, and I need to start opening my mindset to be the CEO, the visionary, and start implementing who can help me do these things. Right. Because at the end of the day, we want to create businesses that serve us, right? Sure. That we're able to employ awesome people, have an awesome culture, and where they can be proud to come and work someday.
Yeah. Virtue Properties just recently, this week actually, just hired our first independent contractor. So that was a big leap for us, and we're excited about that. And he's kind of our head guy on rehabs, and we're hoping to scale it from there. So,
awesome.
So if you're local to Louisville and you're interested in real estate, we'd be interested in talking to you if you've got grit and hustle.
Yeah.
That's just part of a growing company.
And that's just not on the rehab side. That's also on the acquisition side as well. So there's multiple opportunities for sure.
That's great.
If it don't work out with Matt, I'll be giving you guys a call.
Go ahead.
Love it.
We'd love it.
He's a good one.
Yeah,
he's
I'm
a
not
good
going.
one.
I'm not going anywhere.
He's a good one. What so you're a full-time contractor. So he's basically, so when you guys buy a flip property, which I know, so is he working on your one on Edsel now?
No, he's actually on Keswick right now. So he would do, our rentals together, my personal rentals, if we need him at one of our rentals, whether it be Brian's personal, ours together, or mine, he would make service calls. He's kind of a jack of all trades, if you will, can do a little bit of everything. So we're just going to, the main thing is to keep him busy. He's got a salary, and we're going to keep him busy on our rehabs. And I guess worst case, if we get to the point where we're not buying anymore, which I don't see that anywhere in the near future, we could sub them out to other investors that would, could use them on their projects. But I don't see that right now at all.
Nice.
Well, and I can't overstate this enough. Having quality contractors, quality people to help you do the work makes all the difference.
Dime a dozen.
Preach.
The guys 100%. That help me with my rental properties, if I'm buying one that I'm going to flip to rent, kind of what you guys were talking about with the BRRRR strategy, or if I have an issue on one of them, like I have people that can get there within 24 hours, and it's invaluable. And I constantly tell those people that, hey, I can't do what I'm trying to do without you guys, and just shower that appreciation on them, because they're hard to find. I mean, it's hard to get people to do work.
Yep.
It really is.
No, you're totally right. Brian knows that we've been through it, this year, for sure. One back to back. So we'll you're right.
But you either learn or you earn.
That's right. That's right.
I like that. Learn or earn.
Well, dude, what, guys, so someone wants to get into investing, like Tony, for example, he and I have been talking about that a lot. Where do you suggest they get started?
Well, I mean, there's, of course, us, we always are open and love to talk to anybody about real estate investing. We love to talk real estate just in general, values and appreciation, and from investing and flips and whatever. So, and if it's not us, then we definitely recommend, podcasts, and then also Korea.com, the local meetup. It's at Woodhaven Country Club. They meet the fourth Thursday of every month. And it's $30 for non-members, and it includes a meal, and it's definitely worth the time.
Yeah, there's definitely other meetup groups too. So we're always happy to help out, and they can, obviously reach out to us. I'm a big fan of podcasts, the Bigger Pockets, Wholesaling Inc. I think it's still available. There's all different types of podcasts, but I would encourage people to, if they're going to start listening to it, don't just listen to them, but actually take some action behind some of those learnings. Because a lot of people just listen and they sit back and they do nothing.
You just said it, take action.
Right.
Corey, I do remember this now from like 3 or 4 months ago. They had a Zoom meet where, and one of the things that Corey had said in that meet was, he started with somebody else who was talking about getting into it and trying to learn, and he took action while the other guy stood still and still hasn't bought his first rental property. So it's intimidating. It really is. But I think you also have to jump in to, get a taste for it, because then after you get your first or second one, it's like, okay, I'm ready to get another one.
Are investment properties like tattoos? You get one,
if you
got to keep it good.
If you get the right one,
if you get the right tattoo.
Not if you get that butterfly on your lower back.
Right.
You're not getting any more.
Tramp stamp.
You got anything else, Tony, you want to add or questions?
Dude, no, I really appreciate you guys. I mean, I was looking forward to this one myself, just because of conversations Matt and I have had. This is something I'm looking forward to stepping into in the next year or so, just on the investment side of things. So, so I mean, I'm going to re-listen to this and take a lot of what you guys said and make sure, tap into those resources.
Absolutely.
And $30 for dinner, man, I'll pay that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's a buffet. It's like
it's at Woodhaven Country Club,
buffet,
which is the big party club.
Right.
I love that place.
Right.
That's probably one of my favorite clubs.
And there's
just from the amenities alone.
There's other meetups. What we're talking about, house buying guys. I think it's Bo Hollis and Brad No. They have
Yep,
something
they have one, and
it's
next
called-
gen as well is another one that they
I think
have.
theirs is on the first Monday of every month, if I'm not mistaken. The next gen is the second Tuesday of every month at Roosters on Shelbyville Road.
There's a lot of people
Yeah.
from our office that are part
Yeah,
of
I
that.
think that's hosted by Hampton Scurlock and Todd Hunter.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of good meetups, and a lot of most of them are free. Most of them are.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, gentlemen, thank you again. How if anybody needs looking to use your services or utilize you guys in any way, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Brian, I'll let you go.
I'm just on Facebook. I'm not really an Instagram type guy. I probably should be. So if someone want to reach out to me on Facebook, they can also go to my website too, which is Kentucky. So spell out Kentucky and then sellnow.com if they have maybe a property that, they're looking to sell.
Phone number?
502-610-0070.
Perfect, man. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook and also Instagram as well. I think it's Josh _by BY _ Golly GOLLY.
I love that handle, man.
Right?
Yeah, I do.
And then of course Josh Hardy Facebook, and then my number is 502-354-8764.
Right on. Appreciate you guys joining us. It's been a good show, man. Looking forward to cracking this one back open, getting some of those books that we were talking about. And yeah, if you guys got any questions, reach out to Brian, Josh. I know they're an open book, willing to talk to anybody. Find Matt and I online as well. Keep following the Real Life and Real Estate podcast. Give us some feedback. Give us some subscribes, thumbs up, reviews. Let us know how we're doing, what kind of content you guys want to hear. We'll do our best to serve you well. So until next time, peace out.
Deuces.
That was good. Thanks, fellas. That was fun.
That was fun.
I feel like we're getting a little better each time.
You're a natural, dude.
He is.
Dude, he's got like this natural voice.
I know, he's like,
I mean, you're good too. Don't get me wrong.
No,
But he's
I
got
know
like
what
this
I am.
natural,
I'm impressed.
This is fun. I mean, Matt will tell you how excited I was when he told me about it and invited me in. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
And I'm